Hi, time for an unboxing video. It's going to be a vintage unboxing video. The reality of a business like mine is that when you're in the repair business, you need to have stuff. And stuff is a broad category. You need circuit boards, and you need components, and you need new old stock sets, and you need used sets, and you need stuff. Because when somebody sends you a set and they want you to repair it, you have to have stuff sometimes to be able to complete the repair. Sure, electronic components are readily available and all brand new, but sometimes you need other kinds of stuff. Let me show you an example. This is a customer's model 2540 that I just finished rebuilding yesterday. Normal rebuild on the back, everything works great now. The big giant hum is gone from the system and it's in good shape, works really well. What was missing on this one? This knob was missing. It had broken off because the volume control had frozen up and he kept turning it harder and harder. Eventually it broke on the inside and the knob fell off and got thrown away. If you don't have stuff, you don't have a knob. If you don't have a knob, you can't really send it back complete. And while it's not really my fault that he broke the knob, it's kind of my responsibility to have them so we can put things back together and make them like they were when they were new. The other reason you have to have stuff is this is a model 2550. This is one of the remote stations that goes with this model. This fella just bought this house about 8 months ago. He's getting around to doing the intercom now, but one of these downstairs in the basement playroom, rec room, is missing. There's just a hole in the wall. If you don't have stuff, you can't have a speaker that he can have to go along with his repair to put his system back together. Sure, it's used. This one's from 1973. And the set is from 1974, so that's pretty close. It's the same style as what he has, but if you clean it up really well, and you take all the paint off the edges, and you clean the switches, and you test it, it's just as good, maybe not brand new, but it's probably just as good as the ones that he has in his house. So, again, you need to have stuff. One of the things that I've been looking for a while now, because stuff doesn't always just come along. You have to keep an eye open for it. Sometimes there's a lot, sometimes there's a little. Sometimes when there's a lot, what they want for is way too much and it's not practical. What I've been looking for the last few months is an IM4406. And this one happened to pop up about a week and a half ago, and yes, it did come from eBay. And supposedly, and as near as I can tell from the pictures, this is probably brand new and probably had never been installed. So let's take a look at what leads me to believe that. So first, it's in the correct box. It's an IM4406, it's a white one, and it's an IM4406 box. If it was an IMA4406 box, I would be suspicious because that's a later version of the original 4406, which would lead me to believe that the original one had a problem, which was the IM. The customer or the homeowner bought an IMA later on, swapped out the units, put the broken one in the IMA box, and put it on the shelf in the garage. That would be bad. Here, it is a bright white unit, because that's where the red label is, under white. And the other thing we can check when we open it up is, on this end, there's a serial number sticker. And the serial number is N80519361. So when we take this out of the box and we look at the serial number on the unit, if they match, then we know that this unit came out of this box. So let's go ahead and open this up. The other thing in the pictures that led me to believe that it was the real deal was it has all of the paperwork with it. Here's the installation instructions that came with it, and here's the warranty card. And on the warranty card is also a sticker with the serial number, which is N80519361, which just happens to be exactly the same serial number as on the box. So that's good. But you never know, the master station could be a different one, and this is just the one that came with the box. Did I ever tell you about NuTone warranty cards? So for forever, as long as I can remember, whenever you bought a NuTone product, there was one of these in the box. And it would identify either the model number and the serial number. Not everything has serial numbers, mostly just electronics. And then the usual survey kind of thing, your name, address, city, state, phone number, you know, where you bought it, how much money you make, how much your house is worth, all the usual nonsense. And then, of course, it would have, it's a postcard, so it has NuTone's address on it, and it wasn't even prepaid postage. You had to put your own stamp on it. And of course, most people would diligently fill this out and throw it in the mailbox and mail it off to NuTone. And assuming that NuTone would take these and enter the information in a big giant customer database, and they knew who everybody was and what you bought and when you bought it and all that kind of stuff. And then if you ever had a problem, you could call them up and they could look you up and help you out. That's not what happened at all. I was back there once in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they had these big giant canvas roll-around carts, like the kind they have at the post office that they move the mail around in. And there was probably 6 or 7 of them, and what was in all of them? Warranty cards. When the warranty cards would come in, somebody would take it and toss it in the bin, and that's where they would stay. Nothing ever happened. They had no idea who you were or what you bought. Installation guide, terminal board, still in its plastic bag, with the transformer cover here. Now, the transformer cover, when this was brand new, would be taped to one of the styrofoam pieces, as with this. So that's a little suspect, but we'll wait and see. Let's lift this out of here. And we have the mounting hardware, and I'll show you that in a second. We'll get rid of the box. So part of the mounting hardware includes the 4 screws. Let's pop this out of the bag here. The 4 screws that hold the faceplate to the rough-in housing mounting brackets. And although it may be a little hard for you to see, the little white screw heads here, they're not all dinged up like somebody had tightened them up with a screwdriver and then took them back out and chipped up the paint. So that was another thing in the pictures that gave me encouragement that this might actually be a new old stock unit. So we'll get rid of the styrofoam here. And there's our IM4406 in white. Now it does look like it's brand new. It's not discolored. It's got no scratches or scrapes on it. Another thing I like to do is, get the flashlight here, you can look inside the little holes where the screws hold it onto the wall, and if screws have been put in place, the plastic, the recessed parts where the heads of the screw tighten up against the plastic, will have scratches and scrapes in them, and these don't. They're nice and clear. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the serial number. We have the warranty card again. And if we look inside one of the doors, here's a serial number down here on the door. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on a second. And now you can see the serial number. And what's the serial number? N80519361, which matches the warranty card, which matched the label on the outside of the box. So this IM4406 did indeed come with this warranty card and in that box. Does that mean that this set is new, that it's perfect and ready to go? No, not even close. Not until we do a little more investigation. So let's go ahead and turn it around and take a closer look. Oh, I forgot to point out, on the label inside the door, it has a manufacturing date of 1998, which is the 3rd year production for IM4406s. So that's good also. So what else did I see in the pictures that led me to believe this was never had been installed? Well, first of all, it's excessively clean. There's no sheetrock dust. There's no paint stuck on the edges of the faceplate like it was pushed up against a painted wall. The backup battery right here is not connected. That's not a for certain thing, but that's the way they came out of the box. It was the installer's job to connect it up, even though a lot of them never did. But it looks like it's always been hanging there like that. The other thing which I saw in the pictures was these are the leads for the transformers. One goes to 1801T and the other goes to the second one. And these, the stripped and tinned ends on these are just about as straight and perfect as they could possibly be. If these had been wrapped around transformers, they would have been bent into a U shape and then put over the transformer. And when the screw on the transformer is tightened down, it smashes the soldered lead a little bit where the screw puts pressure against it, and you can see that on the lead. And these don't have that. My belief is this has never been hooked up. It's just a really, really nice example. So now what we have to do is we have to hook it up. We get to be the very first ones, I hope, and see if it actually works. So I've got it hooked up to my bench power supplies in place of the 2 transformers it would be powered from. I have it hooked up to a standard NuTone antenna. I have it hooked up to a standard NuTone terminal board back here. One inside remote, and it's connected to the door speaker at the end of the workbench over there. So you get to see this first time. I have not tried this yet. We're going to turn it on, and if we keep our fingers crossed, we're going to show either a flashing 12 or 1 o'clock. I think it should be 12. Oh, it beeped when you powered it up. Nah, it's a flashing 1 o'clock. 4406s, when you power them up from being turned off, they generally beep when they power up. So we have a flashing clock, shows 1 o'clock. Let's go ahead and set the time. It is 12:18. Time set. We'll go down to 12 and up to 18. And we'll actually make it 19. And there you go. Now we'll program the radio.
Masks, and I can tell you. Crowley, Senior VP in Financial. Hey man, I feel like you were forgetting. But no, there. Yeah. Jay read it.
Memory buttons work. We'll do FM.
In solidarity with Chris Smiles, who was... I've always been the one to...
Who didn't play in the first?
Seems to work all right. Program off, tape, auxiliary, timer, program off. Now, the money, the CD player. Is it going to work? I don't know. Here we have a little essential Bruce Springsteen. We can't listen to a lot of it, you know, copyright infringement and all of that. Close the door. Disc in shows up. And if we press play, we'll see what happens. Right now, it looks like nothing's happening. Let's open it up. No, it didn't spin. Why would that be? Well, let's try something. You know, this has been sitting around since 1998. The sled moves. So let's try it again. And what you do is you check and see if it moved. Now, see, it didn't move. It stays there. It should have gone back to the center. We'll give it a little help here and see if maybe it'll go. No. So the CD player isn't working. That's not the worst thing in the world. So let's see if the intercom works. So we'll turn the intercom volume up a little bit. Warning, there may be feedback during this part. Feedback is because the speakers are so close together. So we'll do door talk. I think we can turn it up a little more than that. I like it right on the raggedy edge of feedback. That works. Inside patio talk. That works. End call. Same thing from here. Door talk. That works. Inside patio talk. That works. We'll try monitoring. Good. Good. We'll try the remote music control function. We'll turn the radio on. scroll through a few stations.
I was not real replay. The railroad tried to answer any questions to see. Holmes tweeted
Turn the
out,
radio off.
I think I'm getting cut here, fellas.
Now let's see if we can turn the CD on remotely. Let me check something first. Make sure nothing's jostled loose over here. I don't think it is. No reason that it would be necessarily, but you know, you never know. We'll push it, hold down, shows IU.
All time.
Radio turns on, beeps for the CD player, but nothing happens. You can tell nothing happens, or I can tell nothing happens, because I'm watching up here, I'm watching the amp meters on the power supplies, and when the CD turns on and runs, you can see the needles move as it uses more or less power. So the CD is not working. It's not even erroring out. It may error out if we wait long enough, but at the moment, no. Which is unfortunate, because it would have been nice if it did work. Let's try one more thing. Put that there. I don't think it's going to help. See, normally when you put a CD in and close the door, it will spin up for a few seconds and read the beginning part of the CD so it knows what's in there, and this one's not doing that. If we try to jump ahead on tracks, I see little fluctuations in the needle. And I hear a little clunking going on, but not very much. Let's look. Now, see, it didn't move. It should slide over to the left as you search for tracks. So, no. As of right now, the CD player doesn't work. So does that break my heart? Do I feel like I got cheated because the CD player doesn't work? No, not really. The reality today is that most people don't care about the CD players anymore. Most people aren't playing CDs anymore. Sure, there's a small group of customers that they really want everything that they have to work 100%, but most people understand that the CD player is not a repairable thing, and we can always put an auxiliary input jack right over here where you could plug in your Wi-Fi streaming device, your Amazon Echo Dot, and tell Alexa to play music or do something like that. But also on the other side of that, since this is brand new and I don't think it was ever installed, it may be that the CD player, with a little bit of servicing and a little bit of playing around, we might be able to get it to work again. That'll be a project for another day. So I think for the amount that I paid for this, it was well worth it, because it's a pristine brand new example. Oh, and just to cover it so I don't leave any bits out, no, I don't think that this was a unit that someone purchased, someone installed, then discovered they had a CD player problem, and then took it out. NuTone sent them a warranty replacement, which would be another brand new one, which did work, and this one went in the box and never ended up back at NuTone, because I don't think this one had ever been installed. If the CD player doesn't work, it's most likely because it's been sitting around since 1998. So what's the future hold for this little IM4406 in white? Well, the future holds that, one, yours truly is going to spend a little bit of time playing around with the CD player mechanism to see if I can at least make it do something, because it seems to me it's rather unusual that it doesn't spin at all. Even a defective one usually does something. So it may be a simple problem that is easily corrected. The other thing that needs to be done with this is this will find a home someplace. This is certainly too nice to be parted down and scrapped out for its boards and go here and there to fix other sets. This one needs to stay as a complete unit as it was made. But since it was built in 1998, so let's do the math. 1998, 2008, 2018, and 2 more for 20, that makes it 22 years old. So even sitting in a box somewhere for 22 years, there are some components in here, especially in the power supply, they need to be replaced. Because if you don't, while it may work fine for the first 3 or 4 or 5 years, after that, things are going to start to fail due to age, and then you're going to have a customer on the phone complaining. So the right thing to do is do what would be a minor rebuild on the power supply. All the solid state parts that we normally replace should be fine because they've never been used. It's just the other type of parts that need to be replaced. So that'll be done, and when I'm doing that, I'll take a look at the CD player and I'll see if I can get it working. If I do get the CD player working, there'll be a follow-up video and I'll explain to you what I found wrong and what I did to fix it. I hope you found this interesting, and maybe for somebody it'll be helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube because that helps us a little bit. There'll be a banner right here that shows you how to subscribe. Go to our YouTube homepage, click on the bell, and when you click on the bell, click on it to receive all notifications. And every time we post a new video, you'll get a notification and you can watch it. That's all for today. See you on the next video.